it's my Lemonade IS Academy, and today we are going to see March 2021 current affairs, and we are in a series of completing 1000 plus current affairs within 20 days, and in that series we are seeing March 2021 current affairs. Earlier we have made videos on February as well as January. In our last video we have seen February current affairs, and before that we have completed January 2021 current affairs, and in that series we are going to see March 2021 current affairs. We are going to see 40 current affairs in this video, so watch this video till the end. So let's get started. First one is Aboriginal rock-cut. Recently an Aboriginal rock-cut was identified. So it was identified from Australia's Kimberley region. It was identified from Australia's Kimberley region, and in this Aboriginal rock-cut they have painted a kangaroo. A kangaroo painting was identified, and this kangaroo painting is 2 meter length, which means 6 feet length. So it is a life-sized painting. So these are the things which are relating to Aboriginal rock-cut. Recently an Aboriginal rock-cut was identified in the Australia's Kimberley region, and it has kangaroo painting, and in this kangaroo painting it is 2 meter length or 6 feet length. So it is a life-sized painting. Then we have Center of Excellence in Gaming, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting as well as IIT Bombay. In collaboration they have decided to form the Center of Excellence in Gaming. So Center of Excellence in Gaming, it is related to Ministry of Information and Broadcasting and IIT Bombay. So Ministry of Information and Broadcasting as well as IIT Bombay in collaboration they have decided to form this Center of Excellence in Gaming. Then we have Kujli Gar. Kujli Gar is a practice in in Nagaland, and they will make a cage. A cage will be made, and in this cage it will be made out of trees. The trees, it will be made out of indigenous trees, and these trees are known for irritating the skin. So the trees which are irritating the skin will be used for making a cage, and the person who is needed to be punished will be left inside that cage. So it is a kind of punishment which is followed in Nagaland, and Naga people, the people in Nagaland are trying to revive this kind of punishment. So it is in news. So Kujli Gar is a triangular cage in which the logs of indigenous trees will be used, and it will be famous for irritating the skin. So it is a kind of punishment which is followed in Nagaland. That is Kujli Gar. Then we have Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain. Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain is under the Ministry of Jal Shakti. It is under the Jal Shakti Ministry, and under this Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain, it is a 100-day campaign, and under this persons will clean the water resources. It is involved in cleaning the water resources as well as conserving the rainwater. So it involves cleaning water resources as well as conserving rainwater. So Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain, it is a 100-day long campaign, and it is by the Jal Shakti Ministry, and in this they involved in cleaning water resources as well as conserving the rainwater. And then we have Bill Chilarai. Bill Chilarai is a person. Bill Chilarai lived from 1510 to 1571. He is a brave warrior. He is a warrior and a general of the Assamese Koch royal dynasty. And he is the younger brother of Nara Narayan, the king of Kamatha kingdom. So these are the things which are relating to Bill Chilarai. Bill Chilarai lived from 1510 to 1571 CE, and he is a warrior and a general of the Assamese Koch royal dynasty, and he is the younger brother of Nara Narayan. Nara Narayan is the king of Kamatha kingdom. So Bill Chilarai, a warrior of the Assamese Koch royal dynasty, and he lived from 1510 to 1571. Then we have PMI. PMI stands for Purchasing Managers Index. Purchasing Managers Index, it is an indicator of the business activity, and it is released by, it is an indicator of business activity, and it is released by ISM. ISM is nothing but Institute for Supply Management, and it is released monthly. It is compiled and released monthly. It is an indicator of business activity, both the manufacturing as well as the service sector. For manufacturing as well as the service sector, it will be compiled. It will be calculated separately, and finally a composite index will be calculated. If the index stands below 50. If it is below 50, then it is contraction. If it is above 50, then means expansion. So that is Purchasing Managers Index. Purchasing Managers Index, it is an indicator of the business activity. It is an indicator of business activity, both manufacturing as well as the service sector, and it is compiled and released by the Institute for Supply Management ISM, and it is released monthly, and it is a composite index. For manufacturing and service sector, they calculate it separately, and finally a composite index is generated, and the value of PMI index below 50 denotes contraction, whereas the value of PMI above 50 denotes expansion. Okay. Then we have cess. Cess is a tax on tax. Earlier we have seen tax while we are seeing the economy. We have discussed economy before this 1000+ series, and in that series we have seen taxes, and during that period we have discussed cess and surcharge. Cess is in news. Cess is a tax on tax. It is generally a temporary one, and it is levied for a specific purpose. It is levied for a specific purpose, and once that purpose is achieved, this tax will be stopped. Example for cess, we have Krishi Kalyan cess, GST compensation cess, and Swachh Bharat cess. Those are the example of cess. And it will be imposed on both direct taxes as well as indirect taxes. It is a tax on tax. It is a kind of tax that can be imposed on both direct as well as indirect taxes, and it is a temporary tax, and it is levied for a specific purpose, and once the purpose is achieved, this tax will be stopped. Example for cess, we have education cess, Swachh Bharat cess, Krishi Kalyan cess, etc. And it is not part of tax devolution. Based on the Finance Commission recommendation, this cess will not be shared with the states. And those are the things which are relating to cess. And recently the cess, the amount of cess which is collected, cess and surcharge incidence has doubled up. The amount of cess and surcharge has increased in recent times. That is why it is in news. And we have surcharge. Surcharge is something which is similar to that of cess. The only difference between surcharge and cess is in cess the objective will be clear. There will be a clear objective, there will be a clear purpose, and for that particular purpose cess is imposed, and for that cess is collected, whereas in surcharge the objective will not be clear, and it is also a tax on tax, and it is also not shared to the states as per the Finance Commission recommendation, and the surcharge money will go to the Consolidated Fund of India. So cess and surcharge are almost same, but the only difference is the surcharge will mostly of permanent nature, whereas the cess is mostly temporary one, whereas the surcharge is mostly permanent one, and the objective is not clear for surcharge, whereas for cess the objective is clear, and it is also a tax on tax, and the money will go to Consolidated Fund of India, and both these things will not be shared to the states as per the Finance Commission recommendation. Then we have Huron Global Rich List 2021. Huron Global Rich List 2021, it is recently released, so it is in news. The Huron Global Rich List 2021, it has listed the top billionaires. It has listed the world's richest persons, and in this list, Elon Musk became the world's richest person, top number 1. And the second position is for Jeff Bezos. Jeff Bezos is the owner of Amazon. And then we have Bernard Arnault. And in 8th position, we have our Indian Mukesh Ambani. So India got 8th position. Indian person got the 8th position, and that is Mukesh Ambani. And this country, in this Huron Rich List 2021, they have also said the countries that have the highest amount of billionaires. So China is the country that has the highest, most number of billionaires. There are around 1058 billionaires in China, and the second position is for USA, which has 696 billionaires, and the third position is for India, which has 177 billionaires. So it also listed the countries based on the number of billionaires they are having. So China is the country that has highest number of billionaires. It has 1058 billionaires. USA has 696 and India has 177. Then Sansad TV. We have Lok Sabha TV as well as Rajya Sabha TV earlier. We know that. So Lok Sabha TV as well as Rajya Sabha TV is merged, and a single TV is formed, and it is called as Sansad TV. So Lok Sabha TV as well as Rajya Sabha TV is merged, and Sansad TV is formed, and the retired IAS officer is appointed as its CEO. Retired IAS officer called Ravi Kapoor is appointed as its CEO. So it is in news. So Sansad TV is nothing but Lok Sabha TV as well as Rajya Sabha TV merged to form Sansad TV, and retired IAS officer is appointed as its CEO. Then Himalayan Zero is a species in news, and it is a Himalayan mammal. It is a Himalayan mammal, and it is something between a goat and an antelope. It is something between a goat and an antelope, and it is under the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, and it is listed as vulnerable. So under the IUCN red list, it is listed as vulnerable, and under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972, it is listed in Schedule 1, and it is a mammal. Himalayan serow is a mammal, and it is something between a goat and an antelope. Then we have LPAI. LPAI is Land Ports Authority of India. LPAA stands for Land Ports Authority of India. It is a statutory body and it is established under the LPAI Act. LPAA Act 2010. So LPAA Act means Land Ports Authority of India Act 2010, and it is established to manage the cross-border movement of people as well as goods. So it is to manage the cross-border movement of people as well as goods in the international borders. So LPA stands for Land Ports Authority of India. Land Ports Authority of India is a statutory body that is established under the Land Ports Authority of India Act 2000, and it is a thing to manage the cross-border movement of the people as well as goods in the international borders. Then we have Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship. The Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship is launched by Office of Principal Scientific Advisor. It is launched by Office of Principal Scientific Advisor, and this Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship is a part of Waste to Wealth Mission. It is a part of Waste to Wealth Mission, and this Waste to Wealth Mission is itself a part of PMSTIAC. PMSTIAC stands for Prime Minister Science, Technology and Innovation Advisory Council. Prime Minister Science, Technology, Innovation Advisory Council has 9 national missions, and in this 9 national missions, one of it is Waste to Wealth Mission. So Prime Minister Science, Technology, Innovation Advisory Council have 9 national missions, and under those 9 national missions, we have one called as Waste to Wealth Mission. And under this Waste to Wealth Mission, we have a fellowship, Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship, and this Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship is launched by the Office of Principal Scientific Advisor. So the thing is, first we have PMSTIAC. PMSTIAC is a Prime Minister Science, Technology, Innovation Advisory Council, and under this we have 9 national missions, and out of these 9 national missions, we have one called as Waste to Wealth Mission, and under this Waste to Wealth Mission, we have a thing called as Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship. So Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship is a part of Waste to Wealth Mission, which is under the PMSTIAC 9 missions. Then we have MSP. The MSP stands for Marginal Spatial Planning. It is not Minimum Support Price, it is Marginal Spatial Planning. This MSP Marginal Spatial Planning is between India and Norway. Norway has agreed to conduct this Marginal Spatial Planning. It is between India and Norway. India and Norway has decided to conduct this Marginal Spatial Planning in Lakshadweep and Puducherry. So Lakshadweep and Puducherry is selected as the pilot sites. That is why it is in news. So Marginal Spatial Planning, India and Norway has decided to conduct Marginal Spatial Planning in Lakshadweep as well as Puducherry. So Lakshadweep and Puducherry is selected as the pilot sites. Then we have Udyog Manthan. So Udyog Manthan is under the DPIIT, Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, which is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. It is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. So Udyog Manthan is under the Department for Promotion. It is organized by the Udyog Manthan is organized by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, and it is under the this department is under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And under this Udyog Manthan, a series of seminars will be given, and this seminars is conducted to promote the quality and the productivity in Indian industry. So Udyog Manthan is in which a series of seminars will be given, and in this seminars they will try to promote the quality as well as the productivity in Indian industry. And it covers many sectors. Many sectors will be covered, like pharmaceutical sector, electronic sector, renewable energy sector, robotics, aerospace. All these sectors will be covered under this. So Udyog Manthan is organized by Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, which comes under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. And under this Udyog Manthan, series of seminars will be given, and the seminars are given to increase the productivity of the industry, and the sectors which covers under the Udyog Manthan or pharmaceutical, aerospace, robotics, electronics, renewable energy, everything comes under this Udyog Manthan. Then we have X-Desert Flag 6. X-Desert Flag 6. It is an annual multinational exercise. It is an employment warfare exercise. This X-Desert Flag 6. It is an annual multinational employment warfare exercise. It is an employment warfare exercise which is conducted by the United Arab Emirates, and for the first time India is participating in it. That is why it is important for us. Desert Flag 6 exercise is an employment warfare exercise which is conducted by the United Arab Emirates, and for the first time India is participating in it, and it is a multinational exercise. And apart from India, USA, France, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, Bahrain, everything will be participating in this Desert Flag 6 exercise. So Desert Flag 6 exercise is the annual multinational employment warfare exercise which is conducted by the United Arab Emirates, and for the first time India is participating in it. Then Nag River. We have a city called as Nagpur, right? Nagpur got its name from this Nag River only. So the Nag River is flowing through the city of Nagpur. Nagpur is in Maharashtra. So Nagpur is in Maharashtra. This Nag River is flowing through Nagpur, Maharashtra, and by this Nag River only Nagpur got its name, and this Nag River is a part of the Kanhan-Pinch river system. It is a part of Kanhan-Pinch river system. And recently pollution abatement project was announced in this Nag River. So Nag River pollution abatement project. So because of that, Nag River is in news. So Nag River is a river in Nagpur, Maharashtra, and this Nag River flows through the Nagpur. So Nagpur got its name, and it is a part of the Kanhan-Pinch river system. And recently a pollution abatement project was there in the Nag River, for which a sanction is given. That is why Nag River is in news. This Nag River pollution abatement project is implemented by the National River Conservation Directorate. Then we have CERAWeek Award. This CERAWeek Award is given to Prime Minister Modi. It is given to our Prime Minister, so it's our honor. So CERAWeek Award. CERAWeek Global Energy and Environmental Leadership Award. CERAWeek Global Energy and Environmental Leadership Award. So it is given to our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So that is why it is in news. CERAWeek Global Energy Environmental Leadership is given to our Prime Minister, and it is founded in 1983, and it is founded by Daniel Ergin, and this CERA stands for Cambridge Energy Rich Associates Week. So it is given to the leaders who are involved in energy, sustainable use of energy as well as environment. So for this time our Prime Minister has got it. So CERAWeek Global Energy and Environmental Leadership Award given to Modi. It was founded in 1983, and it was founded by Daniel Ergin, and CERA stands for Cambridge Energy Research Associate Week. Bodhan. What is Bodhan? First, Bodhan is a rice, and it is from Assam. Recently it is being exported to America, and it is iron rich rice, and it is a red rice. So these are the most important things, and fertilizers will not be used for the production of this rice. So first one, Bodhan, it is a red rice, and it is produced in Assam, Brahmaputra Valley region, and it is iron rich rice, and no fertilizers will not be used for making this rice, and recently it is exported to America. So it is in news. Bodhan, red rice, iron rich from Brahmaputra Valley of Assam, and now exported to America. SFDR Tech. SFDR stands for Soil Fuel Ducted Ramjet Technology. Soil Fuel Ducted Ramjet Technology is by DRDO. DRDO has successfully tested it. So it is in news, and the advantages of this ramjet technology is, in this ramjet technology they will use the atmospheric oxygen. So they will use the atmospheric oxygen. As atmospheric oxygen is used in this, the oxidizer which is included is reduced, right? So there will be a greater range as there will be a higher speed. The range and the speed will be increased in this. And warhead, bigger warhead can also be used because there is no oxidizer. There is no need to carry oxidizer, right? So the warhead size can be improved. So SFDR stands for Solid Fuel Ducted Ramjet Technology, and it is successfully tested by DRDO. And in this they use atmospheric oxygen. Therefore oxidizer is not used. As atmospheric oxygen is used, the warhead size can be huge because there is no oxidizer. So warhead size can be big and the range as well as the speed will be improved in this SFDR technology. And red sanders is in use. Red sanders is also called as Petrocarpus santallineus, and this red sanders is rich and it also has some therapeutic properties. This red sanders comes under this schedule. It is under the appendix 2 of these sites. It is under the appendix 2, and as it is under the appendix 2, it is protected. It is prohibited from. It is under the appendix 2, therefore it is prohibited from the trade. It is prohibited from the trade and exports, but in 2019, the Directorate General of Foreign Trade has said that the red sanders which are produced in a cultivable land, the red sanders generally grow in a fallow land in red soil region in a dry and in a hot climate. But if this red sanders is grown in a cultivable land, then it can be transported, it can be exported. That is what said in this 2019 DGFT, Directorate General of Foreign Trade. So that is why it is important. And IUCN status of this red sanders is it is near threatened. So red sanders comes under the schedule 2 of the red sanders comes under the CITES appendix 2. As it comes under the appendix 2, the export of this red sanders is prohibited. But subsequently in 2019, the Director General of Foreign Trade has said that it can be exported if it is produced from a cultivable land. But generally this red sanders grow from a red soil. It grows in a fallow degraded land, and the climate which is suitable for this red sanders is dry and a hot climate, and it is in the near threatened category of the IUCN status. In the IUCN status, it is near threatened category. Then we have Pochampally Ikat. Pochampally Ikat. So Pochampally Ikat is a GI tagged product and it is from the Telangana region, and in this sequence of dyeing and tying sections will be made to make a predetermined color pattern. So it is from Telangana, and Pochampally sarees are also made. So Pochampally Ikat is a GI tagged product and it is from Telangana, and Pochampally sarees are also made, and in this sequence of dyeing and tying will be made to obtain a predetermined color section. And then we have whale shark. Whale shark is a large living species on the world. It is a large living species of fish and it is endangered, and it has some spots. It has some dark spots on its skin, and it is also protected under the Wildlife Protection Act, and its lifespan is 130 years and it is 10 meters. It can grow up to 10 meters length, and it is found in the tropical oceans of the world. So it is also found in the coast of India. So red sander, first whale shark. So whale shark, it is protected under the Wildlife Protection Act, and under the IUCN status it is endangered, and it has a lifespan of 130 years and it can grow up to 10 meters. It is found in the tropical ocean water, so it is also found in the coast of India, and it has some spots on the skin, dark spots, dots. Then fishing cats. Fishing cats are found in and around the Chilika Lake. Chilika Lake is in Odisha. Fishing cats are found in and around this Chilika Lake, and the IUCN status of fishing cat is vulnerable. And the fishing cats will be large. It will be twice the size of a normal cat, and it is generally found in marshy wetlands. So fishing cats are found in and around the Chilika Lake. Chilika Lake is in Odisha, and under the IUCN status it is vulnerable. It is generally twice the size of the cat, and it is found in the marshy wetlands. Then negative narrative. Group of ministers has decided to handle this negative narrative. They have decided to track 50 positive as well as 50 negative influences. There will be definitely 50 positive as well as 50 negative influences, top influences. So this 50 top negative positive influences as well as the 50 negative influences are planned to be tracked on the social media, and also they are planning to cut this negative narrative. Negative narrative is nothing but telling something bad about the government, which is not true. Making some false things about the government, which is not true, in social media and other platforms. So to stop this, our government of a group of ministers has planned to track 50 positive as well as 50 negative influences on the social media, and also they plan to coordinate with the schools of journalism, because the persons who are studying in the journalism is the one who are going to become the future journalists, right? So they are going to coordinate with the schools of journalism and all this to cut the negative narrative. Then MT Swarna, it is an all-women crew of vessel. So in the MT Swarna, this MT Swarna has created history. All-women crew of Shipping Corporation of India, SCI, vessel MT Krishna. So this MT Krishna, in this ship, it is an all-women ship. Only women are the one who handle this. All are women officers. So it is the first time in the maritime history that a ship contain all women officers. So MT Swarna has created a history in which there are all women officers. It is by India. Then we have Tech Bharat. Tech Bharat is an e-conclave in which both health sector as well as the edutech sectors will be participating, and the second edition of it has recently held. So Tech Bharat is an e-conclave in which both the health tech as well as the edutech sectors will participate. Then Maitri Setu. Maitri Setu is the bridge on the Feni River. Earlier we have seen Feni River. Feni River is a transboundary river which flows through the Bangladesh as well as the Tripura state, and on this Feni River we have a bridge called as Maitri Setu. And then we have face cover. Relating face cover, Switzerland has recently banned this face cover. Switzerland is a country in which they follow direct democracy. In direct democracy, people have referendum. Under referendum, each people will vote on a general political question, and now referendum was held on the banning of face coverings, and in that people voted in favor of banning the face coverings. And Switzerland is not the first country to ban this face covering. Earlier, France has banned this face covering. France has banned the burqas and the niqabs. So France is the first European country to ban the face coverings. So France, first European country to ban face coverings, but now recently Switzerland has banned these face coverings by the referendum because Switzerland follow direct democracy. Then Delhi's per capita income has reduced. That is why it is in news. Delhi's per capita income is reduced because of this pandemic, and the GDP also reduced based on the economic survey of Delhi 2020 to 2021. Women's Day was celebrated in March 8. Every year March 8 we celebrate Women's Day, and for the first time Women's Day was celebrated on 1911 March 8 by the Austria, Denmark, Germany as well as Switzerland, and subsequently we started to celebrate Women's Day, and the United Nations first celebrated it in 1975, and for this year the theme is Choose to Challenge. So Women's Day celebrated on March 8. First time it was celebrated in 1911 by Austria, Denmark, Germany and Switzerland, but the United Nations first celebrated in 1975, and this year theme is Choose to Challenge. Then virus passport. Virus passport is issued by China. China is the one which issued virus passport, and it is like a health certificate that a person has vaccinated. It is out of COVID. So likewise they have given a virus passport which is introduced by China, but it has not been made mandatory. So still now it is not yet mandatory, and we are not sure whether other countries will use this virus passport or not. So it is introduced by China, but it is not mandatory. It is like a health certificate which is given to an individual while he is traveling abroad, or while a person is coming into China, they can use this virus passport. SAR stands for synthetic aperture radar. Synthetic aperture radar is a form of radar in which this synthetic aperture radar can be used to create 2D images as well as the 3D images, and by using this 3D reconstruction of the objects, we can see the landscapes, how the landscapes is located. Recently, ISRO has completed the establishment of a synthetic aperture radar which is capable of developing high resolution images. That is why synthetic aperture radar is in use. Synthetic aperture radar, it is a form of radar in which 2D images as well as 3D reconstruction of objects like landscapes can be done. And recently ISRO has completed its development of synthetic aperture radar, and it will be launched in 2022. It will be launched around 2022. And Dustlick is a joint exercise. It is a joint exercise between India and Uzbekistan. So you should know which country is involved. If it is a bilateral exercise, see which country is involved in it. So it is a joint exercise between India and Uzbekistan, and it is for counter-terrorism. It is based on counter-terrorism operation. So Dustlick is a joint exercise. It is between India and Uzbekistan, and it is based on the counter-terrorism operation. And the solar power project, recently a biggest floating The thing you should notice, floating. The biggest floating solar power plant was proposed and it was on Telangana. Telangana is going to have the biggest floating solar power plant in India, and it is developed by the NTPC. NTPC stands for National Thermal Power Corporation. So countries, India's biggest floating solar power plant is going to be constructed, is going to be developed on Telangana in Ramagundam to Pedapalli district. In Ramagundam is in Pedapalli district. So it is going to be developed by National Thermal Power Corporation. But this is floating. I am talking about floating. But generally, the largest solar power plant in the world is world's largest solar power plant is in Maharashtra. Sorry, in Madhya Pradesh. It is in Madhya Pradesh, Narmada River. So the India's largest floating solar power plant is in Telangana. It is being developed by the National Thermal Power Corporation and its capacity is 100 megawatt. Whereas the world's largest solar power plant, it is not floating. World's largest solar power plant is 600 megawatt. It is in the Omkareshwar Dam on the Narmada River in Madhya Pradesh. INS Karanch. Actually, INS Karanch is a submarine and it is a diesel electric. It is a conventional diesel electric submarine. And it is recently inducted into the Indian Navy. That is why it is in news. INS Karanch, it is a submarine. It is a conventional diesel electric submarine and recently it is inducted into the Indian Navy. Then intellectual disability. Intellectual disability is a condition in which a person's intellectual ability is low. There is a limitation in his intellectual ability. If I say intellectual ability, it means reasoning, learning, problem solving and other things. And it also includes some disorders like autism spectrum disorder as well as the specified learning disabilities. So intellectual disability is a condition in which a person has limitation on intellectual thinking like reasoning, problem solving, and it also includes some disorders like autism spectrum disorder and specified learning disabilities. Then Lingaraja temple. Lingaraja is a temple that is dedicated to Shiva and it is built by Jajati Keshri. And it is built by a king called as Jajati Keshri of Somavansh. Jajati Keshri of Somavansh. And this temple is built using red stone. And it used Kalinga style of architecture. So Lingaraja temple is a temple which is dedicated to Shiva and this temple is built by Jajatri Keshri of Somavansh and it is built using red stone and it used Kalinga style of architecture. Then we have forex. India's forex reserve has improved and we became the world's 4th largest forex reserve. We surpassed Russia. To become the world's 4th largest forex reserve, and this is because of the higher foreign direct investment as well as the stock market. Why? Because in this pandemic situation, India has witnessed a positive FDI growth. Only 2 countries witnessed positive FDI growth during this pandemic, and one is China, another one is India. Because of this positive FDI growth, India became the 4th largest forex reserve holder in the world, surpassing Russia. So the first largest forex reserve in the world is China, second one is Japan, third one is Switzerland, fourth one is India. So forex reserve, foreign exchange reserve, in which they have foreign currencies, gold and other things. So India has become the 4th largest forex reserve holder in the world. First one China, second Japan, third Switzerland, fourth India. Then Ayya Vaikunda Swamikal. Ayya Vaikunda Swamikal is a social reformer and he lived from 1809 to 1851 and he lived in Travancore. He lived in the princely kingdom of Travancore and he is known for founding Ayyavali. And he also said one religion, one clan, one world, one God. He said one caste, one religion, one clan, one world, one God. And he is the one who introduced mirror worship. Mirror worship is introduced in South India by this Ayya Vaikunda Swamikal. So Ayya Vaikunda Swamikal is a social reformer who lived in the princely state of Travancore. He is the founder of Ayyavali and he introduced mirror worship in South India and he also led an agitation called as Mel Mundu Samaram. Mel Mundu Samaram is in agitation which is led by Ayya Vaikunda Swamikal. So let us revise these things what we have learnt in this video. We have completed 40. Let us revise these things. Aboriginal rock art. For revision. Aboriginal rock art is recently identified from Australia's Kimberley region. It is recently identified from Australia's Kimberley region, in which they have painted a kangaroo in 2-meter length. It is a 6 feet height and it is a life-sized painting. And Center of Excellence in Gaming, Ministry of Information and Broadcasting, as well as the IIT Bombay has decided to form a Center of Excellence in Gaming. And Kujli Har is a thing that is followed in Nagaland, and it is a triangular cage. It is a triangular cage in which the logs are made up of indigenous trees which are known for irritating the skin. So Kujli Gar is a kind of punishment in which a triangular cage which are made of logs that will irritate the skin is used, and it is followed in Nagaland. And Nagaland people are trying to revive this kind of punishment. Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain. Jal Shakti Abhiyan Catch the Rain is by the Ministry of Jal Shakti. It is by the Jal Shakti Ministry, and it is a 100-day campaign, and it is to clean the water resources as well as to save the rainwater. And Bill Chilarai is a person. He is a brave warrior of the Assam Koch Royal dynasty. He is a person of the Assam Koch Royal dynasty, and he was the younger brother of Nara Narayan. Nara Narayan is the king of the Kamatha kingdom. So Bill Chilarai is the great warrior of the Koch Royal, Assam's Koch Royal dynasty, and he is the younger brother of Nara Narayan, the king of Kamatha kingdom. Then who runs Global Rich list? Who runs Global Rich? I have okay. It is PMA. PMA stands for Purchasing Manager Index. Purchasing Manager Index is released by Institute for Supply Management, and this Purchasing Manager Index indicate the manufacturing sector as well as the servicing sector. For manufacturing sector and service sector, separately it is calculated, and finally it is made as a composite index. If the value of PMA is less than 50, it denotes a contraction. If the value of PMA is greater than 50, it denotes expansion. Then we have cess. Cess is a tax on tax in which the objective is clear. It is generally temporary, and it is levied for a specific purpose. And for cess, we have examples like Krishi Kalyan, Education cess, Swachh Bharat cess, etc. And then we have surcharge. Surcharge is also a tax on tax. It is a kind of permanent tax in which the objective is not clear. Then we have Huron Global Rich list. Huron Global Rich list is recently released, and in this 2021 list, the person who topped it is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is the #1 person, and the India holds the 8th position. 8th position, Mukesh Ambani. Mukesh Ambani is an Indian person who holded the 8th position. And the country which has the highest number of billionaires is China, followed by USA, then India. These are the things which are given in Huron Global Rich list. Sansad TV is a thing. Lok Sabha TV as well as Rajya Sabha TV is merged to form this Sansad TV. This Sansad TV is headed by the CEO of this Sansad TV is retired IAS officer. Himalayan Zero is a Himalayan mammal animal, and it is somewhere between a goat and an antelope, and it is under the vulnerables of the IUCN Red List, and it is under the Schedule 1 of the Wildlife Protection Act. It is under Schedule 1 vulnerable, and it is a Himalayan mammal. Then we have LPAA. LPAA stands for Land Ports Authority of India. Land Ports Authority of India is a statutory body, and it is established under the LPA Act of 2010, and it is to manage the facilities of cross-border movement of the people as well as the goods in the international borders. Then we have Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship. Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship is a part of the Waste to Wealth Mission, and this Waste to Wealth Mission is we have 9 national missions under PMSTIAC. PMSTIAC stands for Prime Minister Science Technology Innovation Advisory Council. Under this Prime Minister Science Technology Innovation Advisory Council, we have 9 national missions. Out of these 9 national missions, we have one called as Waste to Wealth Mission. So under this Waste to Wealth Mission, we have Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship. So Swachhata Sarathi Fellowship is launched by the Office of Principal Scientific Advisor. Then we have MSP. MSP stands for Marine Spatial Planning. Marine Spatial Planning. Norway and India has agreed to conduct a marine spatial planning on Lakshadweep and Puducherry. Earlier, a memorandum of understanding was signed in 2019 between India and Norway. Based on this memorandum of understanding only, now marine spatial planning is being conducted in Lakshadweep and Puducherry. Lakshadweep and Puducherry selected at the pilot sites, and Udyog Manthan. Udyog Manthan is organized by the Ministry of Commerce and Industry, and it is by the Department of Promotion for Industry and Internal Trade. Udyog Manthan is organized by the Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade, which comes under the Ministry of Commerce and Industry. Under this Udyog Manthan, it gives webinars. This webinars is to promote, is to increase the productivity of the Indian industry, and the industry, the sectors which comes under this Udyog Manthan includes pharmaceutical, electronics, renewable, and robotics, aerospace, everything comes under this Udyog Manthan. Then we have ex-Desert Flag 6. Ex-Desert Flag 6, it is an employment warfare exercise which is conducted by the United Arab Emirates. It is an employment warfare exercise. It is a multinational one. It is a multinational employment warfare exercise which is conducted by the United Arab Emirates, and this ex-Desert Flag 6, India first time participating in it. So that is why it is important. Then we have Nag River. Nag River flows through Nagpur. Nagpur is in Maharashtra, and recently a Nag River pollution abatement project has been approved. So Nag River pollution abatement project comes under the National River Conservation Directorate. Because of this pollution abatement project, Nag River is in news. Nag River is a part of the Kanhan Pinch River system. Then we have CERAWeek Award. CERAWeek Award is recently given for the Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is why important. CERAWeek Global Energy and Environmental Leadership Award is given to the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Then we have Bodam. Bodam is a Assam one. It is a rice. It is a iron-rich rice, iron-rich red rice from the Assam. It is recently exported to America, so it is in news. And it is produced without using any fertilizer. Then SFDR technology. SFDR stands for Solid Fuel Ducted Ramjet technology. In Ramjet technology, they won't use any oxidizer. Instead, they use atmospheric oxygen. As atmospheric oxygen is used, the warhead capacity is high. That you can include a bigger warhead because oxidizer is not used, and the speed as well as the range will also be improved in the SFDR technology. In SFDR technology, speed and everything will be improved. Then red sander. Red sander is a near threatened one. It is a log. It is rich and it has therapeutic properties. It is a near threatened one, and it is generally grown in a red soil, dry, hot climate. And earlier they have said should not be exported, but now it can be exported if it is produced in cultivable land. Pochanpalli ilkat is a geographical indication product which is from Telangana. Whale shark. Whale shark is a species. It is an endangered species and it is protected under the Wildlife Protection Act, and it can live up to 130 years, and it is 10 meters length, and it is found in the tropical oceans. So it is found in Indian Ocean. Then fishing cats is found in the Chilika Lake in Odisha, and fishing cats generally found in wetlands and marshes, and it is generally twice the size of the cat. Negative narrative is something people say bad about the government, which is not true. Then the MT Swarna Tech Bharat, it has made a history of having only women sailors. Only women officers are there in the MT Swarna. So it is in news. Then Tech Bharat is an e-conclave between health tech as well as edutech sectors. And then Maitri Setu is a bridge over the Feni River. Then we have face cover. Face cover is recently banned in Switzerland. Earlier it was banned in France. France is the first country in Europe to ban this face cover. Then Delhi has witnessed a decrease in the per capita income because of this pandemic. Women's Day was celebrated on March 8. Then we have virus passport. Virus passport is issued by China, and it is a kind of health certificate. Then SAR stands for synthetic aperture radar. Then Dust Lake is a joint exercise between India and Uzbekistan. And solar power plant, the biggest floating solar power plant is going to be established in Telangana, whereas the world's largest solar power plant is in Madhya Pradesh. Then we have INS Karanch. INS Karanch is a submarine. Then intellectual disability, in which the person lacks the intellectual thinking. Then we have Lingaraja temple, which is dedicated to Shiva, which is built by Jajati Keshri of Somavich. It is built using sandstone. Then forest reserve. India's forest reserve is the 4th largest forest reserve in the world. China first, second Japan, third Switzerland. Then Ayya Vaikunta Swamikal is a social reformer, and he is the one first to instill a mirror for worship in South India, and he also led an agitation called as Mel Mundu Samaram. So these are the things which are relating to March 2021 current affairs. Subscribe to My Lemonade IAS Academy. Thank you.